Oh, for fuck! So here we are after week 2. Very busy, very hectic, and on top of that, I was tasked with making the course scripting work for the obstacle course project. These were the goals to be accomplished this time around, and absolutely unrelated to that, the topic of this episode is delays. From the only somewhat functioning game I made in the past, I've learned that those are bound to happen. You run into unexpected problems, don't have as much time as you planned, your computer explodes, XCOM 2 comes out. There are just way too many things that can hinder your progress that it's impossible to account for them all. Now, when something like that happens, you generally have two options. Either extend the time spent on the project, or cut some of the planned features from the release version. Most would probably argue that the latter is not such a good idea, but sometimes it is necessary, even if it leads to a disaster. Speaking of, I chose that approach with the previously mentioned game of mine, which was a space planet tycoon thing. Not a bad idea originally, quite interesting and a bit unique. Turns out though that cutting most of those unique concepts from the release version left the game in a rather mediocre and uninteresting state. Well, at least I'm a bit wiser now. Fortunately, believe it or not, I did finish all the core scripting tasks. It was quite a feat. Tears were shed, muscle strained to its limits, brain tried to self-destruct 4 times, but eventually it has been done. Here is a descriptive video of how the scripting process looked like. It was exhausting to say the least. Still, somehow, the game part of the game works, as far as I have tested at least. Teleporting around and general run logic, time and death counting, custom spawn positions, run finishing evaluation with player points, even data stores for saving the player's fastest and lowest death run information, plus products at a later stage. As hinted, it wasn't exactly without problems. The biggest challenge was making the game scripting as flexible as possible, contrary to the previous space game thing, where literally every purchase button had its own purchase script and its own purchase GUI. It still makes me cringe. The rest of the problems originated from my general clumsiness and silly mistakes with Lua. Eventually though, it seems to be working. I did want to make at least 3 levels to show you something besides the scripting, because that's not really very visually engaging. Unfortunately, I really did not have much strength left, not to mention that the time to make a single level might not be as short as I may have established. For those reasons, and the fact that I have quite a few other things to attend this week, I'll be modifying the plan a bit already, inserting an extra week dedicated to level building, in-depth testing, and GUI design, because, as you may have seen, the current one is really great. Even so, I'm not sure if I'll be able to complete all the levels set in my goals, but I can at least try. Oh, and before I go, didn't think about it before, but consider this idea from the comments now officially stolen. I mean, I was inspired by it or something like that. I don't know. Well.